Welcome to the Forgotten History channel, where we bring to life the stories that time forgot. If you enjoy uncovering the quirky, mysterious, and fascinating tales of the past, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more captivating stories. Today, we're diving into a tale so peculiar, so comical, that it's hard to believe it actually happened. Imagine this: a nation, not just any nation, but Australia, declaring war on birds. Yes, you heard that right. Birds. But not just any birds. These were emus, towering flightless creatures that managed to outsmart an entire military campaign. Intrigued? Let's unravel the absurd and oddly fascinating story of the Great Emu War. The year was 1932, and Australia was still reeling from the economic aftershocks of World War I. The Great Depression had left many struggling to make ends meet, but none felt the burden more than the farmers of Western Australia. These farmers, veterans who had been promised fertile land to rebuild their lives, now faced a grim reality. The arid soil and relentless sun had withered their crops, and just when hope seemed within reach, a new enemy emerged: the emus. Towering over the golden fields, these flightless birds appeared in hordes, trampling crops and devouring precious grains. What had once been an agricultural haven became a battleground, as the farmers watched their livelihoods disappear under the relentless advance of thousands of emus. The plight of these farmers was more than just a struggle with nature. It was a fight for survival in a world that had already taken so much from them. Faced with the escalating destruction caused by emus, the Australian government reached a desperate decision. In late 1932, they devised an unprecedented plan to deploy the military against the birds. Equipped with machine guns and led by Major G.P.W. Meredith of the Royal Australian Artillery, this mission was unlike any other in military history. The absurdity of the situation was not lost on anyone. Soldiers, trained to fight human adversaries, now found themselves preparing for battle against a feathered foe. Maps of emu sightings were spread across tables, and strategies were discussed with surprising seriousness. The mission, to cull the emus and restore order to the farmlands, was a mix of desperation and comedy, a reflection of the extreme measures taken in extraordinary times. As word of this operation spread, the public reacted with a blend of curiosity and skepticism. Could an army truly triumph over nature? The stage was set for one of the most bizarre chapters in Australia's history. The Great Emu War was officially underway, and the soldiers quickly discovered that their feathered adversaries were no ordinary opponents. Armed with machine guns and confidence, the troops embarked on their mission, but the emus proved to be a formidable foe. These flightless birds were remarkably fast, capable of reaching speeds up to 50 kilometers per hour, and their movements were unpredictable. The first skirmishes were a disaster. As soldiers lined up their shots, the emus scattered in all directions, making it nearly impossible to target them effectively. Despite their best efforts, the troops found themselves outmaneuvered at every turn. In one infamous incident, a machine gun jammed at the worst possible moment, allowing an entire flock of emus to escape unscathed. It was as if the birds were mocking their efforts. The harsh, rugged terrain of the Australian outback added to the challenge. Dust clouds kicked up by the fleeing emus obscured the soldiers' vision, and the vast open spaces made it difficult to corner the birds. What had begun as a military operation to restore order quickly turned into a chaotic and frustrating endeavor. The emus, resilient and resourceful, were winning the war. As the chaos of the Great Emu War unfolded, the Australian press seized the opportunity to turn the spectacle into a comedic goldmine. Newspapers ran headlines that seemed straight out of a satirical novel: "Emus outsmart army," "Feathered foes triumph again," and "Australia loses to birds." Journalists painted vivid pictures of soldiers armed with machine guns being outwitted by flocks of crafty emus. The irony and absurdity of the situation were too good to resist. Radio broadcasts carried updates on the campaign, with announcers often injecting humor into their coverage. Across the country, Australians gathered around their radios, chuckling at the image of their military being bested by a flightless bird. the tale of the Emu War quickly became a national joke, a story retold at dinner tables and in pubs, eliciting laughter and disbelief. Even artists joined in, producing satirical cartoons that captured the farcical nature of the war. One memorable piece depicted emus in military formation, donning helmets and marching triumphantly as confused soldiers looked on. While the farmers continued to struggle with their crop losses, the rest of the nation found humor in the absurdity, cementing the Great Emu War as one of the most bizarre chapters in Australian history. The Great Emu War may have been a resounding failure for the Australian military, but it left the government with no choice but to rethink its approach. Recognizing the futility of direct confrontation, officials shifted their focus to more practical and sustainable solutions. One such measure was the introduction of bounty rewards, incentivizing local farmers and hunters to manage the emu population themselves. Tables piled high with emu feathers became a common sight as these bounties took effect. Another significant step was the implementation of extensive fencing across agricultural lands. These sturdy wire barriers served as an effective deterrent, keeping the emus out of farmlands while allowing crops to grow undisturbed. Over time, this approach proved far more successful than the ill-fated military intervention. Today, emus roam freely in sanctuaries and protected areas, a testament to the lessons learned from this peculiar chapter in history. The Great Emu War stands as a humorous yet humbling reminder of the challenges humanity faces when trying to control nature. It's a story of resilience, both of the emus and of the people who eventually found a way to coexist peacefully with them. The story of the Great Emu War remains one of history's most bizarre episodes, but its legacy extends far beyond humor. It serves as a poignant cautionary tale about the complexities of human-nature conflict and the unintended consequences of government intervention. While the military's efforts to control the emu population failed spectacularly, the lessons learned paved the way for more effective and sustainable approaches. This tale is both humorous and humbling. It reminds us that nature often has the upper hand, and solutions that work in theory don't always translate to success in practice. The Great Emu War is a story of resilience, of the emus who defied an entire army, and of the people who eventually found a way to coexist with them. Thank you for joining us on this journey through one of history's forgotten moments. If you enjoyed this story and want to uncover more hidden gems from the past, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the Forgotten History channel. Together, we'll continue exploring the stories that shaped our world.